3 massive Draconian ships moved into position near the jump point to Sol system. Each carried enough firepower to crack a planet's crust. On his flagship, Zux Varen watched with cold satisfaction. "The humans will be erased from history," he said. "Begin the firing sequence." But before the planet killers could activate their weapons, dozens of ships appeared around them. Some were human vessels led by the ESS Invincible. Others belonged to various council races, including the Artaxians. "Draconian vessels, this is Admiral Nicol Summers of Earth," came the transmission. "Power down your weapons immediately. Your actions have been deemed illegal by Galactic Council law." On the Draconian flagship, Zux Varen's own officers turned against him. His admiral stepped forward. "High Counselor, I cannot follow these orders. I will not be part of genocide." "Traitors," Zux Varen hissed. He drew his weapon. But security officers surrounded him. For the first time in his life, the great Zux Varen knew fear. On Draconis Prime, the military government collapsed as citizens took to the streets. Generals loyal to Zux Varen were arrested by their own troops. A provisional government formed, led by moderates who immediately called for peace. "The Draconian Empire wishes to end this conflict," announced the new Draconian leader to the Galactic Council. "We accept responsibility for this unjust war and will make amends to humanity." 2 weeks later, the Galactic Council convened a historic session. Representatives from Earth and Draconis Prime signed the peace treaty. Lissa Blackwell, who had worked tirelessly to build relationships with other species, led the human delegation. "Today marks a new chapter in galactic history," she said. "Humanity extends its hand in peace, even to those who were once our enemies. We seek not revenge, but understanding." The Council voted unanimously to grant Earth full membership with all rights and protections. The Draconian Empire, once the most powerful force in the galaxy, now faced severe restrictions on its military and would pay reparations to Earth for the war damage. Lisa's diplomatic team worked with allies to create the Sol Accords, establishing new rules for interspecies relations that protected younger civilizations from exploitation. On Earth, cities emerged from underground. The scars of war would take years to heal, but humanity had survived its trial by fire. In orbit, construction began on a new joint human-alien space station, a symbol of cooperation rather than conflict. Admiral Nicol Summers and Captain Samuel Rivera stood at a viewport, watching the construction. "Hard to believe it's finally over," Samuel said. Nicol nodded. "We proved something important. Not just that humans can fight, but that we can show mercy. We could have destroyed their homeworld when we had the chance, but we chose a better path." "What happens now?" Samuel asked. "We rebuild. We explore. Gregory's shield technology and Marcus's stealth systems have already been adapted for peaceful uses. Sophia's team is training for scientific expeditions to unexplored systems." Nicol smiled. "We earned our place among the stars." On Draconis Prime, in a secure facility, former Counselor Zux Varen sat alone in a cell. His scales had dulled, his once powerful frame diminished. The door slid open, and a human entered. Zux Varen looked up in surprise. It was Adam Clark, Earth's first ambassador. "Have you come to gloat, human?" Zux Varen asked bitterly. Adam shook his head. "No. I came to understand." "Understand what?" "Why you hated us so much. What made you fear humans enough to try to destroy us?" Zux Varen was silent for a long moment. "You changed everything too quickly. Other species took centuries to advance. You did it in decades. It was frightening." Adam nodded. "Change can be scary, but it can also bring wonderful new possibilities." "What will happen to my people?" Zux Varen asked. "They'll recover. They'll rebuild. And someday, perhaps, Draconians and humans will work together as allies." As Adam turned to leave, Zux Varen called out, "Why did you come here, really?" Adam paused at the door. "To tell you that we would have preferred to be friends." He left the fallen leader to his thoughts. Outside, the twin sons of Draconis Prime set on an empire humbled by its own arrogance and a young species that had proven its right to walk among the stars. Adam Clark straightened his formal blue uniform and took a deep breath. Through the viewport of the diplomatic shuttle, he could see the massive Galactic Council station spinning slowly against the backdrop of unfamiliar stars. After decades of searching the skies, humanity had finally made contact with alien civilizations. Now, as Earth's first ambassador to the stars, Adam carried the hopes of 8 billion humans on his shoulders. 2 minutes until docking, Ambassador, said the pilot. Adam nodded. His mind raced through the countless briefings and protocols he had memorized. The first official meeting with the Galactic Council would determine humanity's place among the stars. The shuttle glided smoothly into a docking bay larger than a football stadium. Various alien ships of different shapes and sizes lined the walls. Some looked sleek and predatory, others organic and flowing. All made Earth's best spacecraft look like children's toys. 2 blue-skinned humanoids with 4 arms each waited as Adam exited the shuttle. They bowed slightly. Ambassador Clark, welcome to the Galactic Council station. We are your escorts to the council chamber. Adam followed them through wide corridors filled with aliens of different shapes, sizes, and colors. Some walked on 2 legs, others on 4 or 6. Some floated. Some had exoskeletons that clicked as they moved. The air smelled of unfamiliar spices and strange chemicals. The council chamber was a massive circular room with 12 raised platforms arranged in a circle. Each platform held a different alien representative. The center of the room contained a smaller platform where Adam would stand. Presenting Ambassador Adam Clark of Earth, Sol System, announced a voice that seemed to come from everywhere. Adam walked forward and stood on the central platform. He looked up at the 12 council members. Each was different from the next. One seemed made of living crystal. Another was a mass of tentacles floating in a tank. A third looked almost human except for its golden skin and 4 eyes. But it was the reptilian alien with red scales and black eyes that caught Adam's attention. The creature sat on the largest platform and wore ornate armor covered in strange symbols. Its forked tongue flicked out as it studied Adam. I am High Counselor Zux Farron of the Draconian Empire, the reptilian alien said. Its voice was deep and raspy. Tell us, little human, why should the Galactic Council acknowledge your species? You have barely left your home planet. You have no meaningful fleet. Your technology is primitive at best. Adam felt a chill but kept his face calm. High Counselor, humanity may be young compared to your civilizations, but we have accomplished much in a short time. From our first powered flight to landing on our moon took less than 70 years. From discovering nuclear power to developing fusion energy took just over a century. We learn quickly and adapt faster. Impressive for primitive apes barely out of their cradle, Zux Farron said with what seemed like a sneer. A shimmering alien made of light and gas spoke next. The human speaks truth. Their rate of technological advancement is remarkably steep compared to most species. The debate continued for hours. Some council members seemed curious about humans, others indifferent. Zux Farron remained openly hostile, questioning everything Adam said. Finally, the council voted. Earth would receive probationary membership in the galactic community. Not full rights, but a start. As the session ended, Adam approached several of the friendlier council members, building connections and gathering information. He noticed Zux Farron, watching him with those cold black eyes. Later, in his assigned quarters on the station, Adam recorded his daily report for Earth's leaders. Most council races seem neutral or cautiously welcoming, he said. But the Draconians, especially Counselor Zux Farron, show clear hostility. They command the largest military fleet in the council and hold significant influence. Adam looked out at the stars, thinking of Earth, so far away. We should prepare for all possibilities, he continued. I sense dangerous political currents here. The Draconians see us as a threat, not as potential allies, and I fear they may act on that belief sooner rather than later. He ended the transmission and watched the unfamiliar stars, wondering what the future would bring for humanity among the stars. 6 months after first contact, Earth established its first embassy beyond the solar system on Centauri Prime. The building stood out among the alien structures with its clean, human design. Inside, Chief Diplomat Lisa Blackwell rubbed her tired eyes. Another long day of negotiations had ended with little progress. "They blocked us again," she said to her assistant. "The Draconians somehow convinced the Mecteri to back out of our trade agreement at the last minute." Her assistant nodded. "That's the third deal this month. It's like they're trying to isolate us." Lisa walked to the window. Outside, the twin suns of Alpha Centauri were setting, painting the alien landscape in shades of orange and purple. They are. Zux Varen doesn't want humanity to have allies. The door slid open, and Captain Samuel Rivera entered. His military uniform contrasted with the diplomat's formal clothes. A scar ran across his right cheek, a reminder of his service in the Mars conflict years ago. "Just got word from command," he said in a low voice. "Our deep space probes detected Draconian warships at the edge of our solar system. They claim they're conducting routine patrols, but they've mapped our defense systems." Lisa frowned. "They're preparing for something." "I think so too," Samuel agreed. "But Earth Command wants us to maintain peaceful relations. No provocations." The next day, Lisa attended the monthly council meeting. Representatives from all 12 major species gathered in the Grand Hall on Centauri Prime. Zux Varen sat on his elevated chair, his red scales gleaming under the lights. When it was time for new business, Zux Varen stood. "The council must address the human problem," he said. "They expand too quickly. They establish outposts in star systems they cannot possibly defend. Their rapid technological development threatens the balance of power." Lisa rose to respond. "Counselor, humanity expands only into unclaimed systems. We seek only peaceful cooperation and trade." "Your words ring hollow, human," Zux Varen hissed. "Your species arms itself even as it speaks of peace. The Draconian Empire has existed for 10,000 years. We recognize threats before they fully emerge." An Artaxian representative, a tall being with silver skin and no visible mouth, spoke next. "The humans have followed all council protocols. They seek knowledge and friendship, not conflict." The debate grew heated. Most council members remained silent, unwilling to challenge the powerful Draconians. When the session ended, Lisa noticed Zux Varen watching her with his cold black eyes. That evening, in the secure room of the Earth Embassy, Lisa, Samuel, and the embassy staff gathered for an emergency meeting. "Our intelligence sources report increased Draconian fleet movements," Samuel said. "They're positioning warships near key human outposts." Lisa's face was grim. "Something is coming. I can feel it." "Earth has begun quiet preparations," Samuel added. "New defense systems are being installed across the solar system. The shipyards at Luna are working overtime. But we're still outmatched if the Draconians bring their full fleet." "What about potential allies?" asked Lisa. "The Artaxians seem sympathetic to our cause, but they're peaceful by nature. The Mecteri fear the Draconians too much to help us. Others are waiting to see which way the wind blows." Lisa turned to her communications officer. "Send a priority message to Earth. Tell them about today's council meeting and the increased Draconian military activity. Add my personal assessment. Zux Varen is building support for some kind of action against us. We need to prepare for all possibilities." As the others left, Samuel stayed behind. "You know," he said quietly, "throughout human history, we've often been outmatched. The Persians at Marathon, the English against the Spanish Armada. We have a habit of surviving against the odds." Lisa nodded. "Let's hope that habit holds, because I think we're about to be tested like never before." Outside, the alien night fell over Centauri Prime. In orbit above, a Draconian warship adjusted its position, Its sensors focused on the human embassy below. The countdown to conflict had begun. 1 year after first contact, the full Galactic Council gathered for an emergency session. The Grand Chamber fell silent as Zux Varen stepped to the center platform. His red scales gleamed under the lights, and his black eyes scanned the room. "Honored council members," he began, his voice deep and menacing. "For a year we have watched as humans spread beyond their solar system like a disease. They build outposts in systems they cannot protect. They absorb technology at alarming rates. They arm themselves while claiming peaceful intentions." Avon Clark, now joined by Lisa Blackwell, watched from the Earth delegation's smaller platform. They exchanged worried glances. Zux Varen raised his clawed hand. "The Draconian Empire can no longer stand by. Today, I deliver this ultimatum." The chamber buzzed with surprised whispers. Humans must restrict all activities to their home solar system. They must dismantle all outposts beyond Sol. They must reduce their military fleet by half. If they refuse, they will face consequences. Shocked silence followed. Never before had a council member openly threatened another species. The Artaxian representative rose. Its silver skin reflected the light as it spoke in a musical voice. "This action violates council law. Humans have broken no rules. They have the right to expand into unclaimed systems like any species." "The humans are different," Zux Varen hissed. "They advance too quickly. They do not understand their place in the galactic order." The council erupted into arguments. Most members remained silent, afraid to challenge the powerful Draconians. The session ended without resolution. The ultimatum stood. Back on Earth, President Olivia Daniels addressed the United Earth government in the Great Hall in Geneva. Screens showed the faces of leaders from Mars colonies and outer system outposts. "We have received the Draconian ultimatum," she said, her voice firm despite her age. "They demand we abandon our rightful place among the stars. They demand we weaken ourselves before their power." She paused. "I have sent our answer. Humanity will chart its own course among the stars. We will not be bullied into submission." The hall erupted in applause. But behind closed doors, military leaders gathered with grave faces. "All defense forces are on high alert," Admiral Catherine Wright reported. She pointed to a holographic display showing Earth's solar system. "We've deployed the fleet in defensive positions. The Mars defense grid is fully operational. Civilian evacuations from outer system outposts have begun." "What about our new weapons systems?" asked President Daniels. "The shield technology developed by Dr. Gregory Jones is being installed on our key warships," said Admiral Wright. "And the advanced missile systems are ready. But we're still outnumbered 10-1 if the Draconians bring their full fleet." In space, Commander Catherine Wright led a small fleet to reinforce the outer system defense perimeter. Her flagship, the ESS Valiant, moved into position near Neptune. "Status report," she ordered. "All ships in defensive formation," her second-in-command responded. "Early warning systems active, but there's a lot of empty space to cover, Commander." Catherine nodded. She studied the star map, looking at the vast emptiness where Draconian ships might appear. Humanity had known about aliens for just 1 year. Now they faced a war with a species that had traveled the stars for thousands of years. "The Draconians think we're easy prey," she said to her bridge crew. "They think we'll surrender rather than fight. They don't understand human nature." A young officer looked up from his station. "Do we have a chance, Commander?" Catherine thought of Earth's secret weapon development programs. For months, Earth scientists had studied alien technology, adapting it with human innovation. The results were surprising even to her. "More than they think," she replied. "Humanity has faced extinction before. We're still here, and we're not going anywhere." In the darkness of space beyond Pluto, sensors detected the first energy signatures of approaching Draconian warships. The clock was ticking. The attack came without warning. Neptune Research Station exploded in a ball of fire as Draconian ships fired their main weapons. 247 scientists and support staff died instantly. Only one emergency pod escaped, carrying 3 survivors. On Earth, screens in the military command center showed the destruction. The room fell silent. "They've made their move," President Daniels said quietly. She turned to Admiral Wright. "Implement our response plan. Measured restraint. I want civilian outposts evacuated now." Across the solar system, emergency alarms sounded. Civilian ships fled toward Earth and Mars as military vessels moved to protect them. Captain Samuel Rivera's ship, the ESS Defiant, patrolled near Jupiter when 5 Draconian warships appeared. "Evasive maneuvers," Samuel shouted as enemy weapons locked onto his ship. The Defiant shuddered as it turned sharply, barely avoiding the first volley of energy beams. "Return fire," Samuel ordered. The Defiant's guns blazed, hitting one Draconian ship, but the enemy vessel's shields absorbed most of the damage. "Their shields are too strong," his weapons officer reported. "Engine room, I need more speed," Samuel called over the ship's comm system. The Defiant raced between Jupiter's moons, using them for cover. 2 Draconian ships followed closely. "Sir, Jupiter's magnetic field might hide us," suggested his navigator. Samuel nodded. "Do it." The Defiant dove into Jupiter's massive radiation belts. Alarms blared as radiation levels rose inside the ship. But the plan worked. The Draconian sensors lost them in the electromagnetic storm. When they emerged hours later, the Defiant was damaged but intact. Samuel ordered a course back to Earth. They needed to report what they had learned about Draconian weapons and tactics. Across the solar system, similar battles played out. Human ships fought bravely, but were outmatched by superior Draconian technology. On Mars colony, Dr. Gregory Jones worked frantically in his underground lab. Sweat dripped from his forehead as he made final adjustments to his experimental shield generator. "Power levels stable," reported his assistant, "but we don't know if it will hold against their weapons." "It has to," Gregory said. "This technology combines their shield concepts with human innovations. In theory, it should absorb and redirect energy better than anything they have." A loud explosion shook the lab. Dust fell from the ceiling. "They're bombing the surface," someone shouted. Gregory's comm unit buzzed. "Dr. Jones, this is Defense Command. The Draconian fleet is approaching Mars orbit. How soon can your shield be operational?" "We're activating it now," Gregory replied. He turned to his team. "This is it. Start the sequence." Huge generators beneath Mars hummed to life. A shimmering energy field began to form over key areas of the colony. In space, the Draconian fleet commander watched as his ships approached Mars. "Begin planetary bombardment," he ordered. "Destroy their colony completely." Draconian warships fired their main weapons. Massive energy beams struck the shield protecting Mars colony. The shield flickered, but held. "Impossible," the Draconian commander hissed. "Increase power to weapons. Fire again." Again the beams struck. Again the shield held. On Earth, Admiral Wright received the news with cautious hope. "Mars' shield is holding," she announced to the war room. "And we have more surprises ready." She turned to her officers. "Implement Protocol Thermopylae." Throughout Earth's solar system, hidden shipyards and weapon platforms began to activate. For months, humans had been preparing for this moment, building defenses and ships in secret locations. On his flagship, Zuxverin received the reports of the failed Mars bombardment with disbelief. "How could primitive humans create shields that withstand our weapons?" he demanded. "Unknown, High Counselor," his officer replied nervously. "They seem to have adapted some of our technology and improved it." Zuxverin's eyes narrowed. "No matter. They are still outmatched. Cut off their communications. Isolate Earth from any potential allies. Then crush them completely." Across the galaxy, council members watched the conflict unfold. Most believed it would end quickly with Draconian victory. None of them understood what happened when humans fought with their backs against the wall. The main Draconian fleet arrived at Mars 1 week after the first attack. 300 warships, their hulls black and covered with red markings, surrounded the red planet. On his command ship, Fleet Commander Krax watched the human colony with cold eyes. "Begin the attack," he ordered. "Full power to all weapons." Energy beams from hundreds of ships struck the shield protecting Mars colony. The shield glowed brightly under the assault, but remained intact. "Impossible," Krax hissed. "No shield should withstand this much firepower." Inside Mars Defense Command, Gregory Jones monitored the shield systems. Warning lights flashed across his control panel. "Shield at 80% and holding," he reported. "The energy redistribution system is working. It's taking their weapon energy and feeding it back into our shields." Commander Beth Harris nodded. "How long can it hold?" "At this rate, about 6 hours," Gregory replied. "But that's longer than they expect. It gives our fleet time to position." In lunar orbit, hidden beneath the surface of Earth's moon, massive doors slid open. Admiral Nicholas Summers stood on the bridge of the ESS Invincible, Earth's newest and largest warship. Behind it, 50 more ships emerged from the secret shipyard. "All ships report ready, Admiral," her communications officer said. Nichols studied the tactical display. The Draconians had committed most of their forces to Mars, leaving their supply lines exposed. "Begin Operation Counterpoint," she ordered. Jump coordinates set for the Draconian rear position. The human fleet vanished in flashes of light as their jump drives activated. Seconds later, they reappeared behind the Draconian fleet. "All ships target their supply vessels," Nichols commanded. "Fire at will." Human ships attacked with precision. Their weapons were less powerful than Draconian ones, but they struck with surprising accuracy. Draconian supply ships exploded one after another. The repaired ESS Defiant, now equipped with Gregory's shield technology, led a daring attack on a Draconian fuel carrier. Captain Samuel Rivera watched as his weapons officer targeted the carrier's engines. "Fire," he ordered. The Defiant's missiles struck true. The Draconian ship erupted in flames, damaging 2 nearby warships. "They're not responding to our attack pattern," Samuel noted. "Their formations are rigid, predictable. They expected us to fight by their rules," his first officer said. Samuel smiled grimly. "That's their mistake." On his flagship, Zuxveren received the reports of the surprise human counterattack with growing rage. "How did they hide an entire fleet?" he demanded. "How are their weapons penetrating our shields?" "They're using unpredictable attack patterns," his tactical officer explained nervously. "Their weapons are targeting specific weaknesses in our shield harmonics. It's as if they've studied our technology and adapted to it." Zuxveren slammed his fist on his command chair. "Impossible. They are primitive. They cannot match our 1,000 years of development in mere months." In the Galactic Council chamber, representatives watched the battle unfold through live feeds. Many had expected a quick Draconian victory. Now they whispered among themselves as humans held their ground against the mighty Draconian fleet. The Artaxian representative turned to the Mecteri diplomat beside him. "The humans adapt faster than any species we have encountered. They take concepts and improve them in ways we would never consider." "The Draconians have awakened something dangerous," the Mecteri agreed. "Watch how the human ships move. They do not follow standard combat protocols. Each ship acts individually yet as part of a coordinated whole." Back at Mars, the Draconian attack faltered as ships were called away to deal with the human fleet attacking their rear. Gregory's shield continued to hold, now at 60% strength. "They're pulling back," Commander Harris announced to the cheering control room. "The shield is working." On Earth, President Daniels received the first positive reports since the war began. "We've survived their first major assault," she told her war cabinet. "But this is just the beginning." Admiral Wright nodded. "The Draconians will adapt to our tactics. They'll bring more ships. But now, They know we aren't easy prey. And now the Council sees it too, added Lisa Blackwell. My sources say several Council races are reconsidering their neutrality. Outside, night fell over Earth. For the first time since the draconian attack began, people looked up at the stars with hope instead of fear. The battle was far from over, but humanity had passed its first major test. 1 month into the war, humanity shifted to a new strategy. They could not match the draconians ship for ship, so they changed how they fought. In a hidden lab on Europa, Jupiter's ice-covered moon, engineer Marcus Wells made final adjustments to a small spacecraft. The ship looked ordinary, but its hull contained special materials that absorbed sensor scans. Stealth systems check complete, Marcus said. This ship will be nearly invisible to draconian sensors. Next to him, Major Sofia Rodriguez examined the vessel. Her special operations team would use it for their mission. How close can we get before they detect us? She asked. Within 5 kilometers, Marcus replied. Close enough for your team to board their command station. Sofia nodded. Her team of 12 soldiers had trained for this mission for weeks. They would infiltrate a key draconian communications hub and steal vital intelligence. 2 days later, Sofia's stealth ship drifted silently toward a draconian station near Saturn. The massive station controlled communications for the entire draconian fleet in the outer system. No alarms, whispered Sofia as their ship approached an unused docking port. They don't see us. Her team, dressed in black armor, moved quickly from their ship into the station. They encountered 2 draconian guards and silently neutralized them with stun weapons. Command center is 3 levels up, said her second-in-command, checking a holographic map. Security will be heavier there. We split into 3 teams, Sofia ordered. Team 1 with me to the command center. Team 2 secures our escape route. Team 3 creates a distraction in the power core. The plan worked perfectly. While Team 3 set off alarms in the lower levels, Sofia's group entered the command center. They stunned the draconian officers before they could react. Download everything, Sofia ordered as her tech specialist connected to the draconian computer system. We have 5 minutes before reinforcements arrive. When the data transfer completed, they planted explosive charges and retreated to their ship. As they pulled away from the station, the explosives detonated, destroying the command center. Mission accomplished, Sofia reported as their stealth ship jumped to safety. We have their communication codes, fleet positions, and attack plans. Similar raids occurred across the solar system. Small human ships struck quickly and vanished before the Draconians could respond. The ESS Defiant, now equipped with stealth technology, destroyed 3 Draconian fuel depots in 1 week. On his flagship, Zuxverin raged at his commanders. How can you not stop them? They are everywhere and nowhere. They do not fight as expected, High Counselor, his admiral replied nervously. They avoid direct engagement with our main fleet. They target our supply lines, our communications, our fuel. And these new stealth ships. Excuses. Zuxverin slammed his fist down. Bring in the second fleet. I want Earth bombarded until these humans beg for mercy. Draconian reinforcements poured into the solar system. Thousands of ships now surrounded Earth and Mars. But they faced increasingly sophisticated human defenses. On Earth, most cities moved underground. Massive shield generators, improved versions of Gregory's original design, protected key areas. When Draconian ships bombarded the planet, the shields held. In the Galactic Council, the political landscape shifted. The Artaxians formally condemned the Draconian actions. This unprovoked attack violates our most sacred laws, the Artaxian representative declared. The humans have shown they deserve the right to exist among us. They have defended themselves with remarkable ingenuity against overwhelming odds. 5 other council races joined the condemnation. For the first time in 1,000 years, the council was divided. On her ship, Admiral Nicole Summers studied the intelligence gathered from Sofia's raid. They're bringing in planet-killer weapons, she told President Daniels over a secure channel. Zuxverin is getting desperate. Then it's time for Phase 2, Daniels replied. Operation Nemesis. Take the fight to them. Nicole nodded grimly. My fleet is ready. The Draconians think they're fighting the defensive war against a cornered opponent. They're about to learn humans are most dangerous when backed into a corner. As Earth prepared its bold counterattack, Sophia's team conducted one final mission. They planted a special device on a captured Draconian communication relay. Soon, the entire Draconian Empire would hear the truth about Zux Varan's war. 6 months into the war, humanity launched Operation Nemesis. Admiral Nicol Summers stood on the bridge of the ESS Invincible, watching as 200 human warships gathered near Jupiter. Each ship carried Gregory's advanced shield technology and new weapons developed by combining human innovation with alien concepts. All ships report ready, Admiral, her communications officer announced. Nicol took a deep breath. This would be the most daring military operation in human history. Open channel to all ships, she ordered. When the channel opened, she spoke clearly. This is Admiral Summers. For 6 months, we have defended our solar system against Draconian aggression. Today, we take the fight to them. We will not target civilian populations. Our targets are military installations and strategic resources. Show the galaxy that humans fight with honor, even against those who show none. She paused. Commence jump sequence. In flashes of light, the human fleet vanished from Sol's system. Using jump drive coordinates obtained from Sophia's intelligence raids, they reappeared deep in Draconian territory. The Draconians had never expected humans to strike their home systems. Their defenses faced outward, not inward. Human ships targeted military shipyards, fuel depots, and weapons platforms. Within hours, the Draconians lost more resources than in 6 months of fighting in human space. The ESS Defiant, commanded by Captain Samuel Rivera, led a strike force against a major Draconian fuel production facility. Their defenses are minimal, reported his tactical officer. They never expected an attack here. Target their processing centers, Samuel ordered. Avoid worker habitats. The Defiant's weapons struck with precision. The fuel facility erupted in flames, but the nearby worker habitats remained untouched. As the battle raged, Sofia Rodriguez and her special operations team executed the most important mission of all. Their stealth ship slipped past the defenses of Draconis Prime, the Draconian homeworld. They carried evidence of Zux Varan's war crimes and his lies to his own people. Security is heavy, Sophia's second-in-command warned as they approached the planet's main communication hub. Stay focused, Sophia replied. If we succeed, we might end this war today. Her team infiltrated the communication center and uploaded their data package. Suddenly, every screen on Draconis Prime displayed images of Zux Varan ordering attacks on human civilian targets, of him lying to his officers about human aggression, of his plans to use planet-killer weapons against Earth. We've been lied to, read the message in Draconian script. This war was started by Zux Varan's ambition, not human aggression. Across Draconis Prime, civilians and military personnel watched in shock. Many had lost family members in a war they believed was defensive. Now they learned the truth. In the Galactic Council chamber, representatives gathered for an emergency session. The Artaxians spoke first. We have monitored the human counteroffensive. They have shown remarkable restraint, targeting only military assets and sparing civilian lives. Meanwhile, we have evidence that Councillor Zux Varan planned to deploy planet-killer weapons against Earth, a clear violation of our most sacred laws. The Council voted immediately. For the first time in its history, it authorized intervention against one of its own members. The Draconian Empire must cease hostilities against humanity, declared the Council speaker. All Draconian forces must withdraw from human space. Councillor Zux Varan must surrender himself for trial. On his flagship, Zux Varan received the Council's message with rage. His officers watched nervously as he paced the command deck. They dare to order me, he hissed. The humans have turned the Council against me with their lies. High Councillor, his admiral said carefully, There are reports of unrest on Draconis Prime. Military units are refusing orders, and our home fleet is heavily damaged by the human attack. Zuxvaran's eyes narrowed. Then we will use our final option. Prepare the planet killers. If I cannot rule the galaxy, the humans will not live to see it either. While giving this order, Zuxvaran didn't notice his communications officer sending a secret message to the human fleet. Not all Draconians were willing to commit genocide, even for their leader.